Where are you?
You gonna see?
Yeah.
I don't know how to work this shit.
That's it.
Pretty bad.
Oh, come off
Are
it.
you kidding me?
Welcome back to the Insiders Podcast. What a special one we have here. Thanks to Darren for lining this up. He's got a special guest for me and for all of you. Check it out, we're going to dive straight in. Here's Dazza.
Welcome to Insiders listeners. We've got a special guest with us tonight, Jackson Baker, recently elected World Championship Tour surfer. Jackson first came on my radar earlier this year as a wild card at the Merryweather Newcastle event, which was a last-minute pandemic addition to the World Tour. I'd never heard of Jackson before this. I don't even remember how he went in the competition. And then the next thing I realised, I was watching him mow through the pack in Portugal in the Challenger Series, sending spray back to New York from Portugal, and he made the final. And being a compatriot Aussie supporter, I sent him a message on Instagram saying, when you're in France for the competition, come and see me and you've got a free pie and a beer at this cafe that I help run. So not even 10 days later, he walked into the cafe and we hooked him up with a pie and a beer. And we got to chatting, and he's just a really talkative guy, like you'll see. He was going well in the event. Another friend of mine who's a super coach, Doc Marsh, came in the next day. I think it was the same day I injured my knee, actually. Straight after that, and Doc said, yeah, he got knocked out. He thought he got ripped off. Did you see it? And I said, I didn't see it yet. I'll have a bit of a look at it. And it went from there. So we've started up the podcast, and I sent him a message, asked him if he wanted to come on. He did. What a nice guy.
What a guy.
What do you reckon?
It's just, I love the fact that he just put the cam on, flipped it round, and he's just sitting with his feet up.
Straight in front of pipe.
Mad. What a guy. So nice. Cracking mustache. Have to say, cracking mustache. And amazing insight as well. I think, why don't we just crack on, let the listeners hear us chew his ear off.
We could nearly say this is Jackson Baker uncut, because he's got no filter.
It is uncut. You can tell that because halfway through, someone starts to drown in front of him, and he even wants to go and save them.
Good on you, Jacko.
Yeah, here he is. Here's Jackson Baker with the Insiders. Jackson Baker, welcome to the Insiders Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I owe Darren a lot for this.
And I owe Jackson 10 pies.
Oh, mate, I'll eat pies. You know me. Don't keep that pie and beer combo up for too long. You'll have me back in no time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't have to come back because you're going to re-qualify anyway.
I'll probably come back because we've got to do one Challenger Series out of our region, just with being on the CT. So that might be my one. Yeah, okay. That might be my one. Either that or Haleiwa. But, I mean, we've got pies and beers. I might as well come back and just have a bit of fun. If I re-qualify, and I could just come and have a bit of fun. Treat it as a bit of a holiday, maybe.
So how long have you been on the North Shore then? This time it's probably coming on a month, probably coming about up to a month now, 4 weeks.
So yeah, it's been pretty good. This is one of it's still swell, but it's just the winds are a bit weird today. I've had a couple, every day's been pretty much pumping. There's been so many waves. It's been one of the better winters that I've seen.
So you're able to start getting picky?
I am picky. I mean, if I saw this at home, I would be out there. If I saw this in France, I'd probably be out there. But yeah, once you're here for so long, you get really snobby, especially when you stay right in front of it. You get super picky. But like if someone said this would be at home or somewhere else, you'd be out there in a heartbeat. We've been up at 5 o'clock, probably doing stretches.
So have you got your own room?
It's my own space, but it's not necessarily a room. It's the bit that's next to Gabby's room. But Gabby's not here. So Morgan's in Gabby's his room. And then there's like a room next door where Gabby's filmers or like family used to stay. So I'm just in there. It's got like 2 day beds. It's got a bit of space, but it's kind of like Morgan walks through my room to get to his room and the bathroom and stuff. But I mean, it's better than, yeah, I can't complain. I'm a bottom. I'm a little fella at the moment.
That's mad. How long was Gabby's room empty for?
Pretty much up until he made the call that he wasn't coming. So it would have been empty for maybe a week or so, a week and a bit.
Oh yeah.
But we just shuffled it all around, and once, because I mean, yeah, when no one really knew what was going on there. I mean, a lot of us thought he would be coming, so you'd like prepare for that. But yeah, I mean, we've changed it all about, and I guess hopefully I'm higher on the rankings next year. That it won't come down to that. I'll have my own room. It's all rankings. Wise how we get better, and that's the fairest way, and it always has been that way. But yeah, pretty classic. We got a little pool room downstairs. There's a little table in the middle and a couple beds. I'm usually in there, but yeah, I got a little upgrade.
So what break is directly out in front of you guys? Are you right in front of pipe, or you're down the beach from it, or up the beach from it?
That's pipe and backdoor right there.
Oh, that's backdoor there. So what do you use? What's that? Yeah. Off the wall, directly out in front.
This is off the wall right here. Rock piles over there where the rocks are. There's someone getting a barrel right now. But the wind's pretty bad today. Probably will get wet. I was going to have today as a bit of an off day. You get pretty, just from constantly surfing, and I don't know, especially the competition and training, like you kind of just got to take days like this and just go, all right, I'm going to give my body a good rest. You'll thank yourself, because if you keep doing everything at the same, it's the same every day, same 100%, you're going to have a day where you're burnt out.
You run out, and then you run out of energy.
Yeah, you run out, and then so you have a day like this where you can kind of just regroup, and then you can go 100% for a couple of days again, and then you've got to have a little off day. So it's looking like there should be some swell straight away for sunset, so kind of just preparing for that. Definitely don't want to rock up day one there and be tired. So
when you say you're training, what do you mean by training? Surfing or extracurricular training?
Surf training and extracurricular, like strength training. Still been lucky enough to train while I'm over here. I work with a fella back in Australia, Adam Trifaz.
And that's like weightlifting, isn't it?
Yeah, we're lifting weights, mobility stuff, just about keeping it as best peak ability that we can be at. Definitely if I'm surfing 3 times a day, I probably won't train that day. I trained yesterday, I had 1 surf. So you kind of just got to pick and choose when you're feeling it. Like there's no point going to training when you're not feeling 100%, so to say.
So Jack,
and who are you doing the surf training with?
Surf training is just pretty much just with myself, just surfing and putting in the reps. I feel like I could be doing coaching with someone, but I feel like I'm just kind of just easing my way into the tour, and I'm just trying to find my spot and what works for me. I worked with Dog on that Europe leg, and I really, really enjoyed that. But this year, Dog's got a big squad, and he couldn't take me on, and that's cool. That was a easy, like, where we got a great relationship, and he couldn't commit to it. And I'm just kind of winging it myself at the moment. I'm working with Kakal Bakal, so a little bit over here just with lineup stuff at Sunset and also pipe. So that's been really good. I feel like over here it's a different style of surfing heats. It's a totally different strategy. It's not like on a beach you're like, oh, get busy, blah blah blah. It's like here,
you're not trying to get the score, you're trying to get the wave, aren't you?
Get the wave and survive, and not get too flogged. It's pretty. It's cool. Yeah.
Can I ask, like, so when obviously the pipe event finished for you, not just the event finished for you, did you instantly switch to Sunset as your main focus?
Yeah, pretty much. You pretty much got to just click straight over. I had that afternoon. I didn't go surf Sunset straight away because that day got so big. It was that day when Jow, Chunker, and John had that crazy heat. They were battling like high nines, it was ginormous out the fronty by the end of it. I actually drove past Sunset that arvo, and it was pretty much closing out, and I was like, I don't have the energy for that. But I really just wanted to. I feel like you don't want to switch over too fast because you still need to recap the result and what you felt good with at pipe, what worked, what didn't work.
Hey, so what was your recap then?
I felt like I had a good first heat. Well, not a good first heat. I'm still learning. But I felt like with my preparation and everything, because I mean, preparing here, you're not getting many waves in a free surf. Pretty much just learning your lineups. And if you jag a little barrel, you're frothing. Like there's a lot of days where you come in and you don't feel like you did a lot in the surf. So that was a definitely different bit of preparation. But I felt like with that, what I learned with the lineups and where to sit with the houses, I felt pretty good. And then coming up against John, it was just one of those ones. It was more.
Did you feel privileged with that?
Oh, 100%. There's probably, I mean,
Yeah,
I
epic's
just wish I
that.
put on a bit of a better, I just wish I put on a bit of a better show. But yeah, I mean, just having a 2-man heat against John, I mean, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. And it was in the
First
CT.
one ever.
First ever, had my number on my back. Like, I mean, everything, you just take everything as the positive. And I mean, you're gonna have to absolutely, like what Seth did. Seth beat John fair and square. That was amazing to watch. So that's what you got to do against someone like John. So I'm still learning, and now all my focus goes to Sunset, where I feel like is a lot more of a wave that is my strength. So it's definitely a lot more exciting. I felt like I was out of my comfort zone a bit here, and I was just trying to get into the comfort zone. Unfortunately, I didn't make any more heats, but I felt like just making round 3 was a job well done. Tick. I didn't lose in the second round, so that for me was a good start to the year.
So Jackson, talk about good starts. The wave you caught first wave, how close was you to making it out of that? Because that was mental.
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of like as the days have gone on, it's more and more of a blur. I wish I still watch the clip of it, like the water angle. I'm like, far out. I was really close. In my head when I was coming through it, I was almost telling it to stop braking. I was just like, let me out of this thing. Like, I don't need a 10. I just need like a 4-5. Just let me out. Like, I don't need to start like a hero. Just like, and then every section I was going through, I was like, holy shit, like I'm still in here. Like, when is it going to let me out? And it just stringed out. Like, yeah, I was like the foam ball. I kind of avoided the foam ball the whole way. If you watch the water clip real closely, I'm just above it the whole way. And I kind of just stayed in that pile in pocket, because I could have got the foam ball would have jumped up and got me any earlier. So I took a good line into it. But yeah, the foam ball just grabbed me at the end and went, nah, you're not having the glory start to your CT career, mate. But for me, it was still probably the best wave of my life, even though I didn't make it.
When you saw that pop up, were you just going like, are you kidding me? Because that was straight. It was straight in the start of the heat, wasn't it?
It didn't look like a good wave though.
Okay.
Like, you got your eyes set on certain ones, and that one was pretty stringed out. But in my head,
you didn't have a choice.
It was like, either I go, potentially get flogged, or do I let Miguel go? And I was just like, I wanted to start with a bit of confidence. I mean, I hadn't really caught too many pipe waves in the free surf. That was probably the biggest or best one I've paddled into. So I was just like, hey, make the drop, pull in. You get flogged, you go, all right, this isn't that bad. I can do this. And I ended up making it a lot further than what I thought. So initially, like, I've actually seen footage of it from the land, and Kapoa, who I was working with, he was like, don't go. And then as soon as I dropped in, he went, oh shit, no, go. And then he just ran. And from the beach angle, you couldn't see how far I made it until I popped up. And then they're like, holy shit, he actually nearly came out. Like, if I came out, I don't even know what I would have done. I would have probably done the most psycho plan. It would have been embarrassing. I would have probably started with a 10 first heat. I would have been going, what? But nah, regardless of it, that falling, it was still, it was pretty sick.
There was one barrel you got where you did a look around and did a big smile at the pit for the spray in your face, wasn't it?
Yeah, I needed that too. It was about 8 minutes to go, and I was in third, and I was just like, I don't need to go too deep. I just need to make one, get a 4 on the board, and at that point, that was the difference, and ended up working in my favour. So, I mean, I could have probably got deeper, but I just wanted to enjoy the whole aspect of it. It's a wave that spits harder than any other wave I've surfed in my whole life. It is a different, like, coming out of a barrel and it's spitting that hard. I was like, I'm looking back at this, like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And it actually turned out to be a pretty cool photo as well. So I got some good memories from my first pipe contest. I mean, yeah, you play it out in your head how you want it to be, but I mean, yeah, I'm still pretty happy with the overall event. And I mean, everyone else, a lot of people start at snapper and to start at pipe. One of the first years they've done it. It's a pretty amazing privilege.
And how big, from what we were looking at before, it looks like, what, is that 6 foot out there?
What's that?
Is that 6 foot out front that we could see before? The surf.
Yeah, 4 foot. It's hard to tell over here.
So then how big would Sunset be today?
Oh, 3 foot maybe, pretty small.
Because the forecast today. Okay, the forecast kind of looks, if I was looking on Magic Seaweed, which we use a lot in Europe, and it's looking really good because Surfline you can only see like 2 days ahead. What's the forecast for the weekend?
I actually haven't really looked. There's a good day Wednesday, which is a day or two before the period. But I mean, with here, there's always going to be swell. There's never a shortage. So I guess you're just always ready for day one. It'd be cool to get it started straight away. But yeah, there's so much swell on the long range. I don't know the exact days, but yeah, the patterns have been really good with the weather and when everything. Like, I mean, we've had probably, what have I been here for, a month, like I was saying, and we've probably had 3 flat days that are like completely flat and like not surfable, and every other day is pretty much surfable. So
mad.
I think it's a good day. Today's Monday, so Wednesday's good. So that'll be like our last kind of tune-up, up early, probably 3 sessions that day. Try and board 6.6, 6.8. What fins, I've kind of already got a good idea, and then just be locked and loaded for that Friday if that is the day we run. But usually first day, if there's waves, they usually like to start on the first day.
Yeah.
What size board are you looking at if it's classic 6 to 10 foot sunset or 6 to 8?
Depending on how windy and stuff it is, but I'll probably ride a 6.6. I've been riding a 6.8 a bunch just to draw out my turns, and then once I get on my, it's like a theory of riding that touch bigger board, and then you get on your shorter board. It's like going from like a Toyota Corolla to a Ferrari. It's like you get that. It's an incredible feeling once you get on that touch smaller board. So I'm kind of training on my 6.8 to surf my 6.6. So if I can surf my 6.8 at how I want to surf, then the 6.6 is going to go so much better. It's going to be so much looser on the rail. And I mean, I've surfed sunset a bunch. It'd have to be pretty solid 10 foot to be on the 6.8.
How many liters? How many liters is on your 6.8?
I think it's like 30 or 31. There might be a litre difference between the two. There's not a lot. They're exactly the same dimension. So the 6.6 is 6.6 by 19 or 18 and 7/8, 2 and 7/16, and the 6.6 is exactly the same, just 6.6. So it's just the length is the only difference. So that's where the literage would slightly go up.
How different are they to what you were surfing at Pipe, or are they the same boards?
The 6.6 is not the exact same board, because that one got a bit dinged up from that tube. The nose is a bit bent, but that'll be my backup 6.6. So they're exactly the same model.
Okay, yeah.
Probably the same fins. I got a couple thicker ones, but I know Sunset, the thinner, not thin rail, but more refined rail, you can really get it nicely on rail. And
what sort of fins?
Like guys, like fins wise, I've been using the Johns, the large Johns. They're real stiff, nice fin. I'm a big lad, so I need a big set of fins in. I can easily push hard, so I like using bigger fins, bigger boards, and really draw out the turns. But someone like John's probably only going to be on like a 6.2, regardless if it's 15 foot or not. That's just John.
Yeah.
He's not someone that you can really compare to, is he?
No, it was like that year at Margie's that he kind of changed everyone's aspect about their lookout on Margie's. Everyone was on 6.6, the 6.4, this and that, and he's rocked up on a chunky 6.1 and drawing the craziest lines. Like, I mean, that's John. And I mean, you've seen people change it and go in that direction and they make it work. But I mean, for me, I could probably ride a 6.3 or a 6.4 at Big Sunset, but I'm a big guy, like I said, and I'd rather have that board. And I feel like for me, I know that when I have a bigger board, my turns look bigger. I think I'd shorten them if I was on the shorter board. But for John, he's someone that can ride a short board so well, and that's how he does it. So it'll be actually really interesting, the contest, to watch for myself as well, to watch what everyone else rides and how big board people ride. Like not to go wig out and not for me to go, oh shit, like they're on that. Who cares what they're on? But just be interesting to see what everyone's riding and how long and how everyone's approaching it.
Such a varied wave, isn't it? It can just suit so many different styles. When you're out there on a 6.8, what are the old crusty locals on?
Oh, 10-0s.
10-0s.
10-0s, yeah.
And do they even look at you?
Once it's big enough, they're not really usually out there.
Okay.
We had a day the other day. It was probably 6 to 10 foot, pretty solid. Like, it's such a good size. I mean, I'm not trying to be a big wave day, but it's a fun size. Like, you're still chasing it to the channel on the big ones, but it's a one takeoff spot when it's that size. But like yesterday when we surfed, it was probably only 4 to 6 foot, and it's just so shifty. You can like move up to the point, you can move down, and you can kind of get caught in between. So on that kind of size, you'll have the guys on the big boards kind of sitting on the bowl on those 9-10-0s. But once it gets to that pretty big, like that 6 to 10 foot mark, they kind of, there's still a handful of them out there, but there's not as many as the smallest days. Like the 4 to 6 foot days, they won't even be local dudes. They'll just be dudes on massive boards. It's like, come on, boys, it's not Jaws. They got flotation stuff on, and we're trying to surf 6.6s and like take off under the peak.
And do they look like they're? But do they look like they're locals, or do you reckon they're American blow-ins for the winter? Or a bit of both?
It's really hard to tell. But I mean, there's a bunch of people that have moved here and lived here for a long time. So I mean, it's you just give respect to everyone. Like I'm never gonna say anything about like, oh, come on, boys, you're on big boards. Like they always do it like all year round. No one like we're only free surfing Sunset because the contest is there. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely older guys on like big Al Chapmans, like big brewers and stuff like that. So you can kind of tell that they've been here for a while and they got nice boards and and I mean like a lot of the older guys that are out there probably were out there on the massive days in their day, but there's a lot of dudes that could be at 60, 65 out there still charging. So it's like,
which is pretty epic
respect
as well,
to them.
Yeah.
And it's like, so like when you really think about it, you're like, man, these guys are 60. Am I going to be doing this at 60? Nah, I'll probably be at the pub sinking tinnies. So I'll stay in my lane there. So, but yeah, when you look at that and see the old boys out there, you're like, okay, they've been out here on bigger days and they're just trying to catch waves with all their mates. It's like, it kind of just looks like they're out there. I don't know, like how people go to the pub and just have a chat. That's how they kind of sit out in the lineup on their big boards out the back. It's pretty cool to see.
And how do you go about getting waves out there? It's got to be easier than Piper.
Oh, way easier. Preparation changes a whole bunch. Still you're looking for your lineups on the land and stuff like that, and knowing where you'll need to be when this set comes and that set comes. But pipe, like I did set coming from a surf with 2 waves maybe, and every surf I've had at Sunset, I've had minimum 6 to 8 waves minimum. So yeah, it's good. You get to feel out your boards a whole lot more. And I guess somewhere like there, the boards do make a whole lot more difference. I mean, at pipe, you just kind of, as long as your board's long enough to get you in and hold a line well, your cruising. But I mean, Sunset, it all changes. Like I said, with everyone riding different sizes and different fins and what works in the wind. Like yesterday it was pretty windy and I was on a 6.5, but I probably should have been on my 6.8, even though it wasn't that big, but just for the wind, with a wind factor. It was a real strong trade wind, which is the wind we've got now, which is like coming across screen like that. So it was really coming underneath your board.
Cross shore, not offshore, cross shore.
Yeah, proper. Nah, it's like cross shore. But it's still like you see pipe on days like today, it'll still be barreling because it's blowing into the lefts. So it's like holding it up. So but Jackson, it's not fun at Sunset when you're trying to drop in. You're, oh.
I wanted to ask, you said about the old boys sitting out there and it's like their version of going to a pub. Now, you're on the North Shore, you've been there for about a month, you say. The board riders has just gone down in Australia, and I know that you've had huge support from your board riders especially. Was it a little bit hard to sit on the North Shore? Did you wish you was there a bit?
A little bit, yeah. Unfortunately, with those events now, we used to have a WSL sanction that we, as CT surfers, are able to compete in those events, but that has changed as of this year. So it would have been definitely cool to be around to support and watch. And it's actually a pretty cool contest to watch from the sidelines. I've been injured a couple times. I was actually injured the year we won, Merriweather won. So it was cool to kind of watch, but then it's hard to watch because you're not in control. I actually like being in the team and having the control of being able to help in a situation where you need, like you go out, you do your thing, and then you go out as power surfer and you can really turn things around for the team. And it's as nerve-wracking as it gets. It's probably more nervous than you'll ever get in a CT or anything like that. It's because you got your whole club on your back. But yeah, it was really cool to watch, especially from over here, and still show the support to the team. I think they really, really enjoyed that. We lost in the semis, but we had a pretty young team. We had Mikey Clayton Brown, a young fella, step up into the opens, and he's probably only just an open now. He used to be our junior, so it was cool to see the team really stepped up and showed that even though our CT surfers aren't there, even though they can't surf, the depth of the club is still huge.
Who would be in the team if you were there? If you and Morgan were there? Is Morgan in Merriweather too?
Yeah, Morgan's in Merriweather. So, well, this is CT dependent. Well, now there's no CT surfers, but if it was last year, the team would probably be Ryan, Morgan. I wouldn't get get a spot because there's only 2 opens. So I'd be the first open out.
That's mad.
So it'd be like teams would probably be paying people to have a CT surfer, but I probably wouldn't be in the team because we always go off rankings. So Morgan's number 5, Ryan was like 15th, and then I just qualified. So I'm at the back, but it would have been Morgan, Ryan, probably Travis Lynch or Mitchell Ross is our over 30, and then Philippa Anderson, and then our junior probably would have been the same boy, Josh Levy. He's a good little surfer. So we would have had a pretty gun squad. But yeah, this year from now on, there's no CT surfers. So it'd be cool to see the clubs, and it shows the depth. Like that's not saying that's
it gives other people a chance to surf.
Yeah, whether it's like North Shelley. I mean, yes, they had Macy, but I mean, their open men's are incredible surfers, and they're kind of underground as well. Like they've got such a good team. You got Joel Vaughan coming up, but I mean, I was pretty stoked to see North Shelley win. I think they've had a bunch of seconds, a bunch of finals. It's cool to see the kind of the crown get spread around. Like Merriweather's won, Snapper's won. We kind of always dominate. It's cool to see someone like North Shelley that's always been so consistent. They're always in the finals of that thing, but they've never got to win. But it was cool to see.
Did Joel surf? Did Joel Vaughan surf in that?
Yeah. He's one of their opens. So it's him, Shane Holmes, Macy as the girl, Russ Maloney as the over 30. I don't know if it's over 30 or over 35, but Russ and Joel's little brother Huey was their junior. So they had on paper, that's a gun squad. But I mean, some people, they probably go, who's Shane Holmes or who's Russ Maloney? Go watch him surf. Like it's not about the name, it's about the homegrown club surfers, which is kind of cool.
I think Joel probably ate more pies than anyone in my whole season there, because he came in just after you guys with the young guns. They did a video, and he was staying upstairs.
Yeah. Well, especially when he's staying upstairs, the pies downstairs. Oh, deadly. At least he's walking up and down the stairs to get him.
Yeah. I took him up a couple.
I was going to say I had him in breakfast.
Oh, don't do that. Breakfast in bed. Pie.
All right. It doesn't matter. I was invoicing Quicksilver for him, so I was taking them up one by one.
Bloody hell.
Did you see the Stabber Highway where I think that Dakota Walters or whatever, he put away a stupid amount of pies over like a 10-day period. That made me proud.
So what's your plan today after you hang up with us, Jackson?
Yeah, a bit of an off day, just cruise. Might try to do some kind of maybe sightseeing. I've got my missus over here, so try to do something like that, but also just rest and keep the energy for tomorrow and for Wednesday. And anything that I do today is for preparation for Friday or for the next day. So
will she be
meditation and stuff like that?
Will she be a board caddy for you at some?
Nah, she'll drown the poor bugger. Oh, it'd be good to see her in the channel, but nah, I definitely wouldn't do that to her. Kakoa and would be a caddy, and we got our another team manager here from the US, Noah. So I think the boys will be sharing the role, because I think there's about 10 of us in the house. So there's going to be days, there's going to be heats where there's going to be 2 of us out there like back to back, or even in the same heat. So it could be very interesting. It's going to be a big day for the boys in the channel. It's a mission paddling out there. It's pretty interesting.
So have you got a cook in the house, or does everyone fend for themselves?
Not so much fending for themselves. Everyone's kind of, when we're around, we'll all cook together, depending on what everyone wants. But yeah, everyone's just been cooking. We just do a big shop all together. And yeah, we cook. We've been out a couple nights, but just try to keep it fun and keep it quite homely. If we're cooking, it kind of makes it feel like home, like you're having a home cooked meal. So
it's kind of like the ultimate surf trick. The ultimate surf trick. Yeah, it is.
Everyone just pitches in. If someone's not that good at cooking, they'll do the washing up. And I think we're going to have a huge cook up tonight. Have some Mexican. My missus is a pretty good cook, and we might just have a bit of a. Well, every night's kind of like a team dinner, so it's kind of nice. Everyone's pretty close, and everyone does their own thing throughout the day. But it's like we meet around the table at night and tell each other about his day, and yeah, kind of like a little family. Pretty cool.
Jackson, you say that being out there and obviously surfing your heat against John was like going to be unforgettable and a memory for yourself. Something that I won't forget for a long time was obviously Kelly taking it out. Was you on the beach? Where was you? What was your?
Yeah, I was on the beach. It was pretty far out. I can't even explain how many people were down there. It was the most people I've ever seen at a surf contest. Like it was crazy, and it's not a lot of sand here either. There dead set wouldn't have been a grain of sand that wasn't sat on or stood on. Like it was crazy, and especially when that final finish too. It was like we were like there's a bit of a spot where we sit. It's like right in front. So you're right in front of. It's almost one of our lineup spots. It's right in front of Pipe and Backcliff. So you're right down the middle. You watch both ways. And we had a bunch of people around, so like a lot. And as soon as the hooter went and Kelly won, it's like everyone just got up and just swarmed to Kelly. Like it was crazy. I don't even know how he got up the beach. Like it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And it was so cool because it was like everyone knows Kelly. Everyone knows what he's done. And for him to do that at nearly 50 years of age, it's kind of scary that he's still smoking us young guys. But yeah, he's a freak. He's the greatest of all time. Personally to me, I think he's the best sportsman of any sport of all time. I don't think you can do that.
How was the emotion on the beach then? Because even online, like I was here in my house, like Kelly's 6 months younger than me or 5 months younger than me. And even the emotion in my own house was running high by myself. So I can't imagine what it was like with like everyone there who knows him and like, fuck, he's got a lot of fans there on the North Shore, haven't he? They love him.
Yeah. He's like a king here. Everyone loves him, and you could tell a lot of the fans were here for him. And I mean, really, I don't know what his future plans are, but I mean, realistically, it could be his last fight Masters. I'd go out on a bang. I'd go out with a winning.
He should retire. That's what we've been saying too.
Yeah.
I reckon he should retire now, and that'll be good for you for the weekend.
100%. There's a kid nearly drowning out the front here. Eh? I mean, Noah, can you see that? Noah, this kid's in the biggest rip. He's lost his bodyboard. Yeah, I know it.
Where's Mikey?
I know, we need Mikey here. I'm just keeping an eye on him. Yeah, I think someone's come to him.
All right.
Yeah, I was tripping out. There's this kid fully waving his hand. I was like, oh no. I'm going to have to go mid podcast and go save someone.
You could have taken us out there. You could have done full Mikey right.
Hold me
earpods. Hold me pods.
hold me, everything out. No, he had a bodyboard and he's just kind of got swept. Someone's with him now. He's just kind of I think he's like, yeah, maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on him.
Hey, were you able to have a crack at the bay at all while you were there?
Nah, I'm not a huge fan of that, eh? Look, I don't want to hurt myself. You got to be pretty contained with that kind of stuff, especially pre-contest
as well.
And it's packed. I mean, the chance of getting a board in the head or something like that. I got in a couple of fights in my board this trip, so I definitely didn't need someone else's board in the head. Got a board in the eye, like in my eyelid. I had a split here. I'd been in the back of the head 4 stitches. So I definitely wasn't looking for the trifecta, that's for sure.
You just had to settle with like 12-foot offshore pipe on your first day out there for the comp.
Yeah, we're a bit spoiled. No, it was pretty good. So yeah, you always be pretty safe around the contest time. You don't want to, like now, there's waves out the front. I'd love to go try and get one at backdoor, but I mean, I kind of should just save myself and for sunset. I mean, you don't want to risk the amount of injuries that have been already this year. Pretty confronting. So
you would have seen, obviously, you were aware. And is he still there, Liam O'Brien, or did he?
Yeah, I think he's either out of here today or tomorrow. He had to get medical clearance.
And it's like what? A broken foot or a broken ankle?
I don't know. I think it might be just a broken foot. I don't think it's a complete ankle. But yeah, it's not looking good. Recovery wise.
He's out for the season, you'd think.
Oh well, he's out for the first 5 events, and that's where you stay on for the next half. So I think
yeah. So same diff, really, isn't it?
Yeah, him and Yago are both pretty it's unfortunate. And then you got
Carlos out now, isn't he? He's out for 3 events.
Yeah, I just read he's getting operated.
Yeah, he's got it because it popped out 3 times. So it popped out in the heat and he didn't know. And then he was paddling for a wave and it popped out again. And then that's when he came in.
And then he tried to go
and then he tried to paddle back out for his heat with Luca Messina and was on the shore and it popped out a 3rd time. So
hell man.
I think even 2 you're in a bit of strife. So I think if it pops out once, you can get away without surgery. But I think as soon as it pops out two times, I think you're definitely getting surgery to hold that puppy back in place.
I read today that he's getting it operated on. He doesn't know how long it'll be for rehab or whatever.
Yeah, someone was saying on the surf yesterday that it was a month, and I was like, mate, way you'll be back in a month. Not with a shoulder, like any surgery. You're not going to be back in the water.
No, 3 months.
You may be back. You may be doing recovery in a month, like rehab stuff, but you're definitely not going to be doing surfing or paddling properly and stuff like that.
No.
So after sunset, you're straight bang back over here to Portugal, right? It's like the week or so after.
Yeah, pretty much. I think if you were really desperate, you could fly home to Oz and then go. But a lot of us are just going to leave from here and get there early. And then we're in beautiful sunny Hawaii, and then we're going to go to freezing cold Portugal. So it'd probably be good to get there early and get comfortable with the changing environment.
I was just there a few weeks ago, and compared to France, it wasn't a lot warmer, but we were surfing without booties, put it that way, which I guess you guys would do.
I'm a bit of a booty fan. I might wear booties. I kind of like it.
Well, you go visit Matt in the UK.
Yeah, but
they wear booties in summer.
Boys, can we just...
Yeah, that's heavy.
I surfed today in 6 mil wetty with 5 mil mitts, 7 mil boots and a hood. So...
Holy shit.
And it was like 1 foot rubbish. So... Yeah, that's.
Oh my god, that's dedication. Well, I better not show you the waves out the front again, because you'll be able to paddle out in board and you'll be like, oh no.
Oh no, don't worry. It warms me up. I think about it, I'm surfing that while I'm surfing freezing cold, blown out rubbish.
100%.
Helps me get through it. It's like when you're walking over hot coals or something, you got to think about it being cold. It's the opposite.
Basically, we're telling you to take advantage of what you got there with that warm water while you can.
Yeah, 100%. You get too picky.
But don't injure yourself, because you'll kill me. That'll break my heart.
Thanks for taking the call with us, Jackson.
One sec, Jackson. What I like to do is, me and Daz on every episode do a surfing do's and surfing don'ts. We just pick one thing we say to do and one thing we say to don't, like if it annoys us or whatever. Okay. It'd be cool to get an insight from you. Something you would do and something you would don't.
A North Shore do's and don'ts.
A North Shore do: show respect and say hello to everyone, even if they don't say hello back. That goes a long way. And a don't drop in on anyone. It's kind of like, good luck. Nah,
it's not a rumor.
No, I think the biggest do is just show respect at all times. And then the biggest don't is like, don't be out of line, and just don't disrespect. Don't show disrespect. That's probably the biggest way to put it. I mean, anyone that comes here and does those two things will probably have an enjoyable trip. But some people just come here and you get a fair bit of stuff happening and yelling and this and that. You just want to stay out of trouble.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one where you said, if they don't say hello back to you, because sometimes you could be walking down the street and you might actually, like, depending on your age or how much you've travelled or whatever, you might feel uncomfortable saying hello to people because you might think, well, he's staring me down. But you're saying you got to put in the effort there and they notice it.
Yeah, I think it definitely doesn't go unnoticed. But I mean, sometimes you're like, oh, say hey or wave or anything like that, and you don't get anything back. Just don't expect anything back. Just everything's about just showing respect. You're on their island. There's a lot of spiritual things here and meanings behind things, and you just don't want to piss off the wrong people. So just show your respect and you get what you get. And you get your waves. I mean, there's going to be surfs where you're impatient. Like, you're going to get impatient and not get in, but it's just as long as you don't click and go, oh, shit, I want to get a wave so bad. Whatever happens kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, Jackson, thanks so much for your time, man.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me.
You're one of our picks, so send us some of that big hacks.
Go well.
All right, I'll try and win it.
I'll try my best. Don't joke. Why not?
If you win it, I'll buy you a pie at Daz's shop when you're in France.
All righty, sounds like a deal.
All right, have a good day, mate.
Thanks, bro.
All right, see you later, fellas. See you later.
Oh, Darren, how good was that?
How was the view from the balcony?
Just looked insane. He looks good. I'm excited for sunset. His boards sound like they're dialed. I like the old school throwback kind of more length in this board. I'm backing him for sunset.
Well, we both actually said that earlier, didn't we? We've got high hopes for this lad, so let's hope we don't jinx him. somehow I don't think we're that powerful. What will happen will happen. So, what's your call on this competition, Matt? Because I had a look at the forecast about 15 minutes ago, because I was having a look at my own forecast, and it looks like Friday, Saturday is kind of small but offshore. I'm wondering if they don't run the women, because not trying to be masochistic or misogynic or whatever it means there. I'm just thinking that that's what they might do with my extensive experience, because it looks like Tuesday, Wednesday looks like a classic 6 to 10 foot sunset.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a great call. Hopefully it'll be good to kick the women off early doors as well, straight in. And I think it's going to be a good event. A little bit more kind of, I don't know, pipe is always good. Pipe's always amazing, but you know, you don't get that much of a variety of surfing. And I'm looking forward to seeing some rail game, looking to see some new lines, excited to see what Jack does out there after some of the clips he's been dropping. And I think, I like events like this. I love pipe. I love it all. I'm just a freak for it all, to be honest.
Honestly, like over the years, it's copped a bit of criticism, Sunset, like people call it. I've heard on other podcasts, the wobbly right.
Wobbly rights for sure.
Yeah. But honestly, I think a wave like this is where its importance lies, is the fact that if you put Tom Curran, Joel Parkinson, Jack Robinson, John, Tom Carroll, Ockie, they just shine. Now, I've got this wave down the coast here at the Pay Basque, where way back when I started with Quicksilver, I think it was like 2000, they had the World Masters Championships. And they say it's a bit like Bells, a poor version of Bells, this wave. It's a really hard wave to surf. But it gets a lot of swell. And then I watched this comp, and, you know, this was the old guys, and they were good. But, you know, it wasn't exciting as, I don't know, watching Snapper. But then Tom Curran got in the water, and it was just seamless, like so perfect and fast the way he's surfing, that you say, well, this isn't the same guy as the other guys in the field. And I think that just shows that a great surfer can really differentiate himself in a wave like that.
I completely agree. I think a lot of people say the same about Margs, don't they? And then that year, John just ripped it to shreds. He just looked like he was on a different planet. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Sunset overall.
Because a lot of the time people say, it's a wave catching competition, and this can happen at Pipe. This can happen at a lot of places, but I got a feeling that at Sunset, unless something drastic happens, that the best surfer will win the competition. The best surfer at Sunset over the next 10 days will win.
Yeah, and about just quickly on that wave catching competition thing, that's part of surfing.
Who do you remember from your session? The dude that got the bomb.
Well, I was going to say as well, is like when we go and surf, it's a wave catching competition. If I catch double the waves over someone, I think I've surfed better than them. Like,
well, there you go. Otherwise, you'd take your fishing rod out there with you, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I reckon, instead of doing a full breakdown, I've come up with a little genius idea. I hope everyone else likes it. Where I'm going to pick 3 people that I think are going to be good. Like obviously, like maybe like one obvious, one middle pack, one.
Can I just make a quick explanation out there to all our listeners that potentially aren't from near where you live, Matt?
Yeah. Now,
when Matt says 3, even though you thought he said 3, he said 3. Like a lot of time. Just if you hear the F, you can translate it directly to a TH. But okay, let's get along.
I'm going to pick toi selection.
That's better.
And then 2 people that I think aren't going to do good for each men and women's. And one thing, just before I want to do that, I just want to say mental wildcard picks in this event. I love the fact that Billy Kemper's in it. I love the fact that Kai Lenny's in it as well. 2 right that Moana got pulled in. Bronte Mack's back on the female side.
Oh, so she's back.
She's back. And
she good.
Because Caroline Marks has dropped out.
How come?
I don't know. Just said she pulled out. I didn't read too much into it. I probably got distracted by something else. But
Twilight Zone stuff.
Exactly. Right. I'm going to start females because why not? Because my first pick for a runner.
Ladies before gentlemen.
Yeah. So one that I think is going to do well. I'm backing Steffi G.
Oh, shock.
On a right. Tell me, like Steph Gilmore on any right, I think could be in that conversation that you just mentioned, Curran and all of those men. My middle of the pack kind of, I think that would do really well. I'm backing Malia Manuel. I liked how she surfed at Pipe. I think she surfs the Hawaiian waves really well, and I reckon Malia's going to have a crack. And my kind of from the bottom end of the pack, who I think is going to do really well again, I'm backing someone who pulled out of Pipe, but India Robinson. She is a Bells local, wobbly right kind of expert as such. So I reckon for the females, they're my three who I think are going to do well. What about you?
I think you'd have to be a half-wit to not pick Steph. I think Steph's a favourite. It's pretty easy, really, for me. I'm just going to go straight for the blue ribbon. Steph, Tyler Wright, Carissa Moore.
Okay.
All three of them could win the event. Like I don't. If someone beats one of them three, they deserve it.
Sweet. I mean, it's a good call. You can't argue with it. To be fair, I just like to be different. Then you're going to notice a pattern in the people that I don't think are going to do very well. All four of them, 2 women, 2 men, are goofy foots, and I think
this is your duds.
Yeah, these are my duds. All goofy foots, and I just think it's going to be so hard if they come up against. If it's a goofy versus goofy in a heat, it's going to be obviously it will be less. But if you're
a goofy will probably win. In that sense.
Probably.
Yeah, you reckon?
But women that I'm a goofy foot that I don't think is going to do well, which this is probably quite a big call, is Tatty. I don't think Tatiana Weston Webb's going to do very well out there.
Tat's gone.
Purely because she's goofy foot.
Out the window, okay.
And also
she's got the wildest double arm backswing.
Yeah, she winds it up.
It might be hard to wind it up at sunset.
Yeah. And then I think Moana is going to struggle.
Okay, so I can just roll straight from that. I don't think Moana's honestly got a chance against these girls that are absolute competitive beasts. And if they have to, they'll do 10 manoeuvres. And she's, even though I read, she said she used to be a sunset girl, which is good. But if you put her on the qualifying tour, she probably wouldn't get through, would she? And she doesn't need to. In fact, she's clean apart. So I don't think she will either. And I also don't think, I just got a feeling that Lakey can't back up a semi-final finish there, which I don't know. I don't think she does. But I mean, if they run the first day, she might go all right. I'd like to see them send it in,
some juice.
At least, like I don't mean gladiator stuff, but a double overhead sunset so we can see who can actually stay in the pocket.
Yeah, I like the Lakey call because I like putting a bit like Tatty, putting a big name on the cutting board and seeing. Because obviously they listen, so they're going to feel pressure when they listen to this and see how they react.
For sure, mate. I've offered them live feed.
Did they turn it down?
Well, they're getting back to me.
But so there are ups and downs, I guess. Are 3 ups, 2 downs, and then moving swiftly onto the gazers, onto the men on tour.
That's a bit harder, isn't it?
That's it. I'm excited by my top 3 about your reaction. So, and like I say, I've tried not to just pick top end. I can't see anyone. I hate saying it, but John out there is phenomenal, freakish. And so I picked John. The one guy I want to see do really well, because I love him, I love how he surfs, is Cal Robson. I reckon he's got a pretty good chance out there. Especially if it's bigger and a bit more kind of wild, I reckon he can really look like he's driving through chop. And the other one's wild card. Billy Kemper is a beast at sunset. He is so competitive.
Yeah, he's a very good surfer at sunset. I used to love watching him at sunset when it was a good when it was like part of the Triple Crown, because I think that was one of the best things about watching sunset. Like what I said before, is seeing guys that are good in that sort of stuff. We've had the whole year, and usually before sunset it used to be Brazil and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, and I've kind of got a poor man's version of sunset in my backyard here. So it's just so interesting to see our guys muscle through what laymen just go around.
Yeah. So who are your three that are going to do well?
Well, I don't have any free picks, Matt, but I've got 3 picks for you. And drei. Jack, John, E.
Oh, I like Ethan Ewing. I like the call on Ethan
Ewing. Ethan Ewing, and I'm telling you, there's a first heat. It's got Ethan Ewing, John, and some other pretty good punter. I'll go to the videotape, but he's a forgotten son already, Ethan Ewing, because
it's going to be someone who finished high. Yeah, is it not? Not go.
Well, the thing is with Ethan is that no one expects him to go good in competitions anymore. Right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Have a listen, Ethan. Like you'd think no one can surf a 5-foot right-hander better, but no one also expects him to get through this heat. So let's hope he proves the world wrong, because
right.
That's just a cracker, because I originally had him
really.
I think he's probably the best goofy footer that you could match with Sunset. 6'6", long arms, flawless style, can go top to bottom, and hopefully will.
So that is a cracking first.
What a heat, super heat.
Yeah.
92% of the WSL fan picks for John.
Crazy.
So there you go. 2% for the Gazelle.
So there are do-wellers, and I'm going to go for some flops, both for Goofy Foot, as I said. I don't see Miguel Pupo backing up his pipe result.
Yeah, I'd probably back. 100% agree with you on that.
And I don't think Italo's going to do very well.
I'm just scared to throw a wet fish on Italo, because
there's an asterisk.
On top of that, he's from a fisherman's village, so you wouldn't want to throw a fish on him.
No. My asterisk on Italo is that we said earlier it could be about catching a lot of waves, and that guy's got some energy. So he could catch 15 waves in a heat and surf 13 poorly and get 2 good scores and get through. So, but I'm calling it. I'm backing. I'm sticking with what I'm saying. I think I'm putting the pressure on him. Let's see how he reacts.
Let's see. So, come on, Mickey.
What about you?
Who was your 2?
Miguel Pupo and Italo Herrera.
Okay. Well, I reckon if he turns up, Kelly might have a bit of a deflate. But I also like to think that that's just science and mathematical. I can't even think of the word, like random
law
chance. Law of averages, because he could win it. He's never won it before. So that'd be quite sick, wouldn't it? We'd all have to cry. We'd cry again. I'm going to get a box of tissues before the comp starts. But I don't think Kai Lenny's got a chance either against all these guys, as much of a waterman as he is.
I think that's a good pick. Yeah.
Even though looking at his first heat, wouldn't you just love to see Kai Lenny just smoke Toledo? And I like Toledo, but just go out.
I like Philippe. I think Philippe might do well, actually.
Just so someone can put an extinguisher out on his trestles dream.
I think I really agree with your picks. I think Kai Lenny's a good pick to suck, because everyone I feel like everyone loves him.
I don't think J.O. Chunka's got the same sting at Sunset as what he does at Pipe. Even though, I'm sure he charges. I'm just hoping that smooth surfing is going to rule in this comp. Not just smooth, but radical, but not
the pure
pleasing surfing.
Yeah.
You know when you see it.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's gonna be a sick event. I really like the wild cards that they picked. It it's an unusual wildcard bunch, especially in the guys, which I think is a better use of them than just putting on two like next qualifying like rookies or whatever. Because
this is fantastic. We can't believe fucking triple Jaws winner, and no, it's a fantastic and Kailani, the goat of the water.
Yeah,
the alternative younger goat.
The
calf
is
the calf
is the young the young laird.
And what do you think? Do you think Baron Lamaya can keep the fire burning?
I think he might do some damage. I do think
that's a huge heat too, huh? Kelly, Callum, Baron Lamaya.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I would not be surprised if I saw Slater third in that heat.
If they can get 10-foot and offshore sunset after 10-foot offshore pipeline, people are going to love the tour again. We're not going to talk about the tour all year, but it's pretty hard to
can't ignore it. You need to
can't ignore pipeline at sunset. I mean, every surfer in the world should, and I hopefully am going to Hawaii in 2 weeks for the first time in my life. I'm nearly 50, and I thought it would never happen. But I can't understand that there is a surfer that surfed for more than 1 year in his life that hasn't thought about going to Hawaii just to have a watch.
I agree. I would love to be accompanying you, and if it wasn't for
I'd rather it be my sensational wife than you, Matt. But
no way.
It's just how the cookie crumbles, mate.
Everyone can tell that she must be in ear's distance. Otherwise, he would be saying completely opposite.
Yes.
I got in trouble for what I said about putting a dress on my album board because apparently Emily overheard me while I was.
I don't blame you. Emily, if you're listening to this. But don't worry, Andy. He's a good kid. He's just trying to look tough in front of his mates.
So that's sunset. Which what I want to just say is all of those picks had an asterisk next to them because by far we are back in Jackson Baker. I'm backing the women's as well as the men's.
So over the rookies, we're going for Jackson because he's on this episode. In the women, we're going for Steph because she's a wild card because we haven't seen her surf this year.
Yeah,
it's been a sensational episode. As a footnote, the Nazare Toe Challenge ran today, which I didn't watch a single second of because it was great surf here. And honestly, if you've got great surf in your local region, don't watch anything. Just go surfing. If you're not surfing yourself, or at least doing some sort of domestic duty around your house, you're just not worth the salt you whip. You were born with.
Yeah. on the Nazare thing, boring.
Okay, good. Well, I didn't watch it.
I'm so over it. Just being towed in. They just go like weird lines. It's just there's a good really good surfer. He's Stan Norman's kind of coach and Lucas Skinner's coach on Instagram is Surf Solutions. And I saw him put a thing up just saying over it. It's boring. You just think
I'm a friend with Joel. Yeah. Well, the thing is, Nazare, especially towing him, is like if you were the dude out there in the water, like we're not going to compare it right now. I mean, you're watching Brazil and you're surfing Brazil. The excitement levels between the two aren't that different compared to you watching Nazare. You might fall asleep, and the dude that's surfing Nazare feels like it's been plugged into a socket, electricity socket.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're saying is, if you like Nazare, go and surf it. If you don't watch it.
Yeah. Anyway, because it's been a nice long body, especially thanks to Jackson.
Good on you, Jackson.
He's provided us with a do and a don't. It's our turn. I'm going to kick it off because I done my last one sucked, so I wanted to redeem myself. So my do for this is out of experience from this week. When you're packing your surf stuff, check your equipment. Just do a double check that you've got everything. I went and surfed on Monday, surfing mitts in the UK, rocked up. I've got 2 pairs of the exact same mitt, and I had 2 right hands.
Oh, that's perfect, because my mate yesterday rang me to tell me he was on his way to work and he forgot his wetsuit. He had to drive back and he couldn't remember if he'd left it on the side of the street or in the foyer at the bottom of his stairs. So, don't forget your gear. We've all done it. Oh, it's a classic.
Yeah. And my don't is a massive don't that everyone should really take note. This is a serious one. Don't geotag where you surf. If you put it on Instagram, if you put it anywhere else, just don't. Just stop being a dick, because
don't do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I could go on for it for about 14 hours, but I'm not. Just don't do it, please.
I'm saying do surf as many boards as you can during a hot run of swell. I got a trifecta this week. I surfed my 8-9 at my local break on Tuesday, and then good mate Tasmanian Shapers 9-6 yesterday at another fantastic break, and then my old favourite 7-7 quad today at my youth hunting ground across the road from Quicksilver where I used to go. It was just fantastic. It was a trifecta, and I was a bit nervous about this week when you're looking at the forecast. You don't know what's going to happen, and it all happened. And the other one was don't leave your local spot when it's going off, because I did that too. I surfed this morning, which was okay, and then I got back home and this afternoon went past my local spot on a bike because I had to drop a car off to my wife. We had a car at the garage and rode the bike, put the bike in the car, blah, blah, blah. And I go back and the local spot's going off. So, you roll the dice, but that's just how it is. Try and stay on your local when it's on.
Yeah, I think you've had enough waves this week, mate.
No, mate. Tomorrow morning, 8:15, drop the son off at school. I'm going to have my wetsuit on, so I'm not going to get out of the car. It's going to remind me of last year during the famous November, best November in history, when we weren't allowed to surf, and I was taking him to school with my wetsuit underneath my clothes so the teachers didn't see. And I wasn't alone. Surfers will do anything for a sting.
Definitely, 100%. There's a lot of things that we do to make sure we maximise our surf time and get to go surf, and that's the
so.
Right
If you're listening to this and it's daytime and there's waves, put it on pause and go surfing and finish it off tonight.
Yeah, finish it off on the car drive home. Question for you: did you have a Dazzle disaster?
Dazzle disaster.
If you don't, I've had one given to me by a listener.
No. Give us the disaster.
Listener's disaster will remain unnamed.
Larry.
Yeah, let's call him Larry. It's almost similar to what you said about your friend. So pumping surf in England at this time, not recently, and he was in the throes of moving house. In his house, he had a black bag with fresh wetsuit, boots, gloves. Another bag was full of rubbish. Rushes, picks up the wrong bag, drives to surf, opens it, no wetty, no boots, no gloves. Disaster.
He's got the rubbish, but he didn't dump the bag with the wetties, did he?
No, it was back at home.
See, that could have been the real disaster.
Could have been even worse.
That's something that I'm capable of. Trust me on this. Trust me.
You've left multiple balls at the beach. I know that wouldn't even almost not register as a disaster for you.
We'll get to one of my other board ones. I've got multiples.
That's
Good
it.
evening.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Hit us up on Instagram. Thanks, Daz. Thanks for setting up Jackson Baker, and massive thanks to Jackson himself.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.